Page 5, Hail to Thee, America. They're introducing a new symbol here. I assume it's new to you. I'm going to pretend it is, so we'll talk about it. And that's called what they're calling a slur. I want to talk about it because it could have other names. Now let's look this over and see what we got. It's one line long, but there's a repeat sign. So really it's 2 lines long, but there's only 1 line of music to learn, and that's what we're after. Treble, bass, clef, 4/4 time signature. We've had all this so far. And I look through, I see a bunch of quarter notes and half notes. Okay, we've had all those. Take the right hand first. And again, I'm assuming you know the names of the notes in the music. If not, do the play it and say it drill. But I'm assuming you know it. And we just count it out carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the left hand does the same thing. Same thing there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you have the rhythm and counting down okay. And once you have it down okay, you don't count it anymore. You just feel the pulse. Once I have the notes and the rhythm, and then I make sure there's no hesitations anywhere. You need to be able to play this without looking at the keyboard also. Then I add what's known as articulation or expression. Expression is how you express the music, how you play the notes. Not necessarily physically how you play it. That's technique. But expression is how you express the notes. I don't know. We'll talk about it. And I do the articulation stuff before I do the louds and softs, the dynamics. So articulation, this is the first time I think they've given you a symbol for any kind of articulation. And that is that slur, or what they're calling a slur. It's a big curved line. Keep in mind that curved line has several different meanings, can be used for several different things in music. And sometimes figuring out what it's used for, that's kicker. I don't agree with calling these slurs in here. I think these are more accurately called phrases. A phrase is a musical sentence. You see, we talk in sentences. It's just normal. Everything, our thoughts are in sentences. A sentence is a complete thought, more or less. Well, music is played in sentences, musical sentences, a musical thought. For me to hear the sentences, if I'm trying to figure them out, I got to play the melody quickly. So here it would be this. That's one thought. And then it's another thought. It's like a statement, reply, or question, answer. Get a lot of this in music. Statement, reply, feeling. So you just have the statement, reply. They're sentences or musical thoughts. And they don't have to, but they can indicate these musical thoughts with these curved lines. They're called phrase marks. A slur is a curved line, but it's got a different purpose than what they're saying. I just as well explained they have that. Slurs often divide the music into phrases. That's even more misleading in my opinion. Careful. What's the difference between a slur and a phrase? A slur tells you to connect the notes within the slur. That curved line, that's telling you to connect the notes. Here. There's no silence anywhere in between them. That's a slur. Curved line indicates a slur. If they didn't have the curved line there, like in the previous page, there's no curved lines or nothing, then it's up to you on how you want to interpret the music, and how you feel the music, or whether you connect the notes or not. See, on Hail America, if the slur line were not there, I could go. See, there's silence between each of those notes. That's interpretation. That's how I express the note. It's how I felt the note. But when they give you that curved line, they take that choice away from you. Now you got to connect the notes. A phrase has a curved line, but you don't always connect the notes inside the phrase. We can have disconnected notes inside a phrase. You can't have disconnected notes inside a slur. Is this confusing? Well, stick around because I'm just getting started. We'll talk more about these, but I would like you to think of these in this piece as phrases, not slurs. However, go ahead and connect the notes anyway. Now what we're going to do is lift up between the phrases, like taking a breath. Like there's just a speck of silence in between them. You don't mess up the beat. The beat is a steady beat. You're just cutting the half note a little bit short so you can lift up. So at the end of the second measure, the half note, when you go to the next measure here, don't connect them. Lift up a little bit early. So there's a little bit of silence there. Lift up. Then we repeat, lift up. Like just that's phrases. That's you separate phrases that way. You don't necessarily separate slurs that way. I could connect the slur all the way through. So we'll talk more about phrases and slurs because it can be very confusing. So you just got to figure them out. What makes musical sense? Is it a phrase or a slur? Is it both? In Hail America, they appear to be both. There's slurs and phrase marks also. Now, once I have the articulation out of the way, then I think about the dynamics. How loud? MF. Everything's MF so far. Mezzo forte, sort of loud. Whatever you think that is. Okay. Then the speed. Majestically. Well, that's not a speed again, but it's a mood. It's a majestic piece. Think a procession walking in. Yay, we're so a parade. Yeah, a parade. Now, one thing about these slurs and phrases, if they have words, you can usually follow the words, and if there's a comma or a period or a question mark or something like that in the words, that's usually the end of a phrase. If it's the end of a sentence in the words, it's probably the end of a sentence in the music. So you can go back and add phrases to these other things we've done. It's like the carousel. Well, there, and then that's one thought, and then lift up. That's another thought, lift up. Lift up. So you can go back and add phrases to these other pieces too. Just follow the words if you're not sure, or to listen to the music, what sounds like a musical thought. It takes time to develop this feel, but that's just another thing we need to work on. Anyway, you go through and learn this. When you're ready, no hesitations, come back to the video. Let's play it together slowly and make sure you have the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to lift up for the phrases, and we'll play it twice because it's repeated. So I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, repeat. 3, 4.